Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. How are you both?
Good.
Good. How are
Excited for
you,
our
Alyssa?
live.
I- I'm good. I'm good. Welcome everyone to our South Korea, Thailand Instagram Live.
Yes. I guess we'll get right to it, right?
Yeah.
We got some questions from you guys in the question box that we posted on our stories both last week and this week. So maybe we can start there. And then you guys can put questions in the question box in the live, or you can put them in the comments. And we will answer them live about South Korea and Thailand. So one of the first questions that we got about teaching abroad is, if I want to do the program, so either Thailand or South Korea for a year and come back home, can I renew after a year?
Yeah, so I can answer first. So I'm the Teach Abroad advisor for the Thailand program. And if you do decide to commit to the full year and you love it and you decide that you want to stay, you can absolutely extend your contract. At the end of your contract, you will have about like a month time frame where you will not be working. So you can use that time to go home if you'd like, and then come back when the teaching contract starts again. You'll just have to communicate with your school about the dates and the timeline of that. But yes, we have had teachers do that in the past.
Nice. Yeah, I guess I forgot. I just jumped right in, but if you guys want to introduce
Oh,
yourselves
yeah.
as well, you could do that too.
Yeah. Well, I'm Ashley. I'm the Teach Abroad advisor for the Thailand program.
Yes, and I'm Alyssa. I'm the Teacher Abroad Advisor for Korea, China, and Spain Volunteer.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. I also do Ireland. Forgot about
Nice, nice.
that.
And my name's Rachel, and I am a CIEE TEFL advisor. So if you're wanting to get TEFL certified in preparation to go to South Korea or Thailand, I am your lady. So, yeah, Alyssa, do you want to contribute to that answer that Ashley had, or should we move on to the next question?
Yeah, I can. So it's similar. You can absolutely renew. Renewal will kind of take place between you and your school. So for both options, public or private schools, they'll most likely reach out a few months before your contract will end. The only difference is that you won't receive that kind of break that you'll find in Thailand. It really does kind of continue on to the next contract. But yep, it's possible.
Nice. Another question that we got in the question box was related to breaks and holidays, and well, we can do it for Thailand and for South Korea. What does the work-life balance look like in either country?
Yeah, I can answer. So for Thailand, you are going to have Thai holidays off and regional holidays. It does depend, of course, on the time frame that you're going. There will be different holidays, but you'll absolutely get Thai holidays off. You know, Thailand is a Buddhist country, so you're not going to get, a full Christmas break off like you would, in the States maybe. But, some Thai schools will celebrate Christmas, and they will have like a party for Christmas. And some schools will give you like maybe one day off, or maybe a day off for New Year's. But don't expect like a full like Christmas break off. But you will have Thai holidays off.
Yeah, same. You will have Korean holidays for both public and private school. And similar, you most likely won't have like December holidays. It's probably going to be more towards February with Lunar New Year. You'll have that holiday off, but not the ones in December.
Mhm.
Nice, great. Well, I haven't seen any questions roll in quite yet, but let's go ahead. Let me see. Yeah, let's go ahead and talk. And I think one important thing for this live today is that we all are actually CIEE Teach Abroad alum in one way or another. And we also have, between the three of us, extensive experience teaching abroad ourselves. So I know Ashley did the CIEE Teach Abroad program in Thailand herself, and now she's the advisor for that program. Alyssa has lots of experience teaching in South Korea and is now the advisor for that program. So I think I will ask you guys kind of about your experience teaching abroad, and keep it focused on these two places to kind of get that compare and contrast. So first question for you all is, where were you placed and what was your placement like in either South Korea or Thailand?
Mhm. Yeah, I can answer that. So when I did the CIEE Teach in Thailand program, I was placed in Bangkok, and I taught at a private kindergarten in the city. And I absolutely loved it. I was there for 6 months. I was there from October 2019 to March 2020. So I didn't really have a chance to stay if I wanted to because of COVID. So I did the 6 month, one semester. And yeah, I lived in Bangkok, crazy city, but very fun.
Nice. Okay, so for me, I was placed in northern Seoul. I always try to make that distinction because Seoul's a big city. Probably closer to Noanggu or Dobonggu, if anyone knows, like the highest kind of regions you can get, but more residential. And it was very quiet. It was, I loved having the access to public transportation while there. First time kind of regularly taking the subway, so I was geeking out a bit. So really enjoyed it. I think it was fast paced, maybe as you can expect a big city to be, which was a bit different, but it was kind of nice to try new things. There was always something to do, a cafe, a show, or somewhere to go to. So yeah, I really like being placed there.
Nice. Great. Well, and I guess the next question is more related to the teaching position itself, right? So, how many students did you have, and what was your teaching experience like? Can you give us a kind of a snapshot into what that looks like?
Yeah, I can answer that. So for Thailand, I was placed in a private kindergarten, like I mentioned, and it was a smaller school. So my school was considered small, so I had a total of 100 students. So each class was around like 30 to 40 students. And I had four classes. So I taught ages 0 to 6 year olds. So I had a 0 to 2 year old class. That class was a little smaller just because they're so young. And then I had a 3 year old class, a 4 year old class, and a 5 and 6 year old class that was combined. And from 3 years old to the 5 and 6 year old class, there was probably around like 30 to 35 students in each class. And I had every class Monday through Friday, so I taught all four classes every day. So I would see all of my students every single day. And it was really fun. I mean, the lesson plans were very different based on the age groups, of course, because I had all the way from like 1 years old to 6 year olds. So I did teach English. I did teach a little bit of math sometimes. And then I would read stories to like the whole school at some points. Um, and yeah, I really loved my experience. We did a lot of like interactive games. And I was teaching them, phonics, the alphabet, like CVC words, consonant, vowel, consonant words, sentence, how to form a sentence, conversational English games. So I got a lot of creativity with creating my lesson plans, which was fun. But also, the school did provide me with some materials that kind of helped guide me. They also provided some worksheets that I used in my lessons that helped guide my lessons day by day.
Nice.
Mhm.
Yeah. So for me, I had over 400 students I would see each week, but I only seen them each once a week. So I had a Korean co-teacher. Well, I should first say I taught at a public school, so there's an option of public and private. So I worked at a public school, and public schools are known for working with having a Korean co-teacher in the classroom. So I taught grades 3 through 6, and I had a co-teacher for each grade. And then once a week, I would teach a reading group after school for the younger students, first grade, second grade. So it was very cute. We'd kind of play a lot of bingo since that was all we could kind of, got to get through. But for the older students, we would focus on my classes were really reserved for conversational practice and for kind of like their fun review lessons. So my co-teachers would essentially see them two other times in the week, and then I would see them for their last kind of class or sometime in the middle as a good review of the lesson.
Nice.
Cool.
That's awesome. Before we move on from the teaching role itself, I have to do a shameless plug for CIEE TEFL. And I'd like to ask you guys kind of what role and how important is TEFL for teaching in either location?
Yeah, I can totally talk on that. So for Thailand, it is not required that you get TEFL certified, but we do say that it is highly recommended to do so. I think it would 100% help you feel more confident in the classroom because you do have to remember when you're teaching English in Thailand, you are considered a lead teacher. So you're not, going to be an assistant teacher or just helping out in the classrooms. Like you are going to be the lead teacher. You're going to be expected to create your own lesson plans, your own curriculum. And the Thai schools are going to expect that of you. So getting TEFL certified would only help you in the long run. In Thailand, also, if you have if you're feeling a little bit nervous about teaching and you've never had that experience before, you've never been in like a leadership role in that way, getting TEFL certified would 100% make you feel more confident. And it will also raise your salary in Thailand. So the base salary teaching in Thailand is 30,000 baht a month. But if you do get TEFL certified, you would be qualified for 32,000 baht a month, which is, an extra 2,000 baht. It goes really far in Thailand. The cost of living is so cheap that you would definitely see a difference. So I would definitely recommend getting TEFL certified. It will also last you a lifetime, and you can, use it in any other country in the world. So I think you should do it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. We've had people do programs back to back, so it's definitely super versatile if you're wanting to have your teach abroad experience go longer or farther. So yeah, if you have questions about TEFL, please let us know in the comments. But Alyssa, what do you think about TEFL for teaching in South Korea?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's super needed. Well, for one, it's a requirement, so particularly for public schools. But overall, you really kind of need that teaching certification to even kind of teach in Korea. So we really, in our Teach in South Korea regular program, the 150-hour TEFL course is bundled with it because we know that it's a requirement and you'll need it. And it's, participants really love, kind of being able to complete it before going, which is very nice. And then also there is, if you did want to kind of do more teaching abroad or looking for different reasons, you can do placement assistance as well. But I can just say from my experience, I was 100% responsible for lesson planning. And I think that's something where I get a lot of questions. How much is lesson planning? All of it. So if you kind of go into the expectation that your role is going to be to have to plan lessons and you might be the prominent role and maybe your co-teacher, if you have one, is there to just kind of see that you're following the, making the deadlines of when the curriculum is and where the students need to be, but just kind of have an expectation that you'll be the one kind of leading the charge, planning the games, planning the materials, and having that foundational knowledge is really, really important and helpful. I can even speak a little bit. So going back to Rachel's point of people who teaching in multiple places, when I did CIEE's program as a volunteer in Spain, my role as a part-time assistant going to full-time teacher, I was really, really glad that I had that level of knowledge from a teaching certification to kind of prepare me for a full-time role in Korea.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. That's an interesting transition too, from going from part-time to full-time for sure. Great. Well, moving outside of the teaching position now to more of like what life is like, outside of school is your commute and transportation. I think that's always an interesting topic. So if you guys can talk a little bit more about like what was your commute like to work, and then what kind of transportation did you use while you were living abroad?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
when I was living in Thailand, my commute to work was like a 5 to 10 minute walk. So that was super nice. My apartment was kind of like just around the corner from my school. So I would walk there every morning and then walk home. And yeah, loved that. There were some markets along the way, so I would stop and get breakfast or smoothie or whatever I wanted. And then when I was just living in Bangkok, I would use the BTS SkyTrain. It's super easy to get around using that. The SkyTrain's amazing. Like it will literally take you anywhere and it's super cheap and I loved it. It's really fun to use. So I used that. And then, of course, like I used taxis if I needed that, motorbike taxis, regular taxis. And then there's also an app called Grab in Thailand. It's kind of like like their version of Uber. So sometimes I would use that if I needed it. But I also just kind of walked everywhere. It was very hot, so sometimes walking very far wasn't the best option, but it was really fun because there's so many things going on in Bangkok that it's just entertaining to walk around. So yeah, walking, BTS SkyTrain, taxis, Grab.
Nice. Great. What
Yeah.
about you, Alyssa?
Well, I actually was a 10-minute walk to work and I loved it. And I am not a morning person, so some days it was just, I would definitely take advantage of the fact that it was super close. But I really enjoyed kind of being close by to work and just being having that accessible. I'd say outside of work, I had access to, I lived maybe 5 minutes away from a subway stop, so I would constantly take the subway everywhere. There was Buzz, but it was my favorite, but it's still there was the option. And Cacao Taxi, which was super cheap. I would take maybe a bit too many taxis, just kind of if I didn't feel like walking. But yeah, I loved have that ease of access to kind of get wherever I wanted around the city.
Nice. Great. Well, we do have one question in the question box. If you guys, who are watching right now, if you have any questions about teaching abroad or living abroad in South Korea or Thailand, please feel free to put them in the question box or in the comments. We're here to, answer any questions that you have. So the question that someone left was, for South Korea, is there any time of the year that we will have a 2-week vacation so we can fly back home for a bit?
Ooh, yeah, so there are kind of 2 semester breaks. Your first one or spring break is typically um, mid-July to mid-August. So your school might finish, but you might still need to be at work. At least that's what was the case for public schools. Private schools may operate a bit differently. So there could be some break time you could take there, but it's really important you have to kind of speak with your coordinator in your school to take those allotted days. Otherwise, you'd have to be at school. For winter, it's about mid to late January to February is when your winter vacation would be that aligns with Lunar New Year and Solal. So, yeah, you can kind of look forward to having those 2 breaks there.
Great. Thanks. And thanks for that question. Moving on, since we don't have any more questions in the question box currently, and I think this is another topic that I get asked a lot about over the phone is, were you able to make friends? The big question for living abroad.
Yeah, I can answer. Yes, I made a lot of friends when I went abroad. For the Thailand program, you will participate in a week-long orientation when you first arrive with all the other teachers that are going on the program. So you'll be staying at a hotel with them for 4 nights, 5 days. You're going to be doing a lot of activities like Thai language classes, cultural activities, lesson planning activities. You're going to go out on excursions. You're gonna go out to like restaurants, you're gonna have a welcome dinner, like so many opportunities to make friends that first week. And then, just in my community, I was really able to meet a lot of friends. I met some Thai friends at a coffee shop nearby my apartment that I would go to every day. And we ended up becoming really great friends. I would tutor them in English and they would tutor me in Thai. I would go there every day and they would have a new Thai dish for me to try. They were so sweet. I miss them every day. And the Thai teachers at my school were really nice. And one of them in particular, I became really close with. So yeah, super easy to make friends. Also, like the friends that you meet that are on the program, it's very common to, make plans with them and like make travel plans on the weekends with them and go away for the weekend. That's super common. So, very easy to make friends.
Yeah, for me, I found it easy too. Epic is the large public school Korean agency that sponsors public school placement. So there was a week-long orientation there where we met at a university, and so you get to meet all of the Epic teachers all around who are going to different public schools throughout the country. And yeah, it was great. I mean, I felt super prepared from it, but it was nice to meet other people who are doing the same thing that you're doing, moved for a year to kind of try and, teach abroad, try something new. And I met some friends from there. I joined some Facebook groups. I joined hiking groups. just to kind of meet other people as well who are may or may not be teaching, but other expats, other Korean friends. And I definitely encourage you, anyone out there who's thinking about it to definitely join those Facebook groups. They might be a bit more obsolete, but they're still valuable.
Yeah, great. Well, and I can see some familiar names that are joining the live today. Someone actually commented earlier to do it. She's a CIE alumni, so that's great. If you are a CIE alumni, excuse me, feel free to put, your advice for people who are thinking about teaching abroad, or your questions if you're wanting to teach abroad again in a different place. We'd love to hear from you. We love our alumni, so it's great to see you guys joining today. Looks like we have another question here in the comments. I'm not sure if this was answered already, but I'm curious about vacation in Thailand along with sick days. Yes. We touched on that a little bit, but.
Yeah, a little bit. In Thailand, you will get vacation days, so you'll have Thai holidays off, some regional holidays. It will depend like on the term or the time frame that you're going, of course, what holidays you have off, but you will have like some 3-day weekends here and there. I mentioned earlier that Thailand is a Buddhist country, so they don't celebrate Christmas like we do, so you're not going to have like a full Christmas break. Some schools actually will throw a Christmas party, and then some schools will give you Christmas Day off for the foreign teachers, but it just really depends on your school. And yeah, I mean, as far as sick days go, if you're sick, like of course, you would just tell your director of the school that you can't come to school because you're sick. For days that you do have off in Thailand, you are not getting paid for those days that you're not working. So just keep that in mind. But like they understand totally if you get sick, like you don't have to come to work. But yeah, you are going to get some vacation days. Also, if you do a 2-semester program, so which is the full year, you are going to get like a month and a half off in between semesters. So you can use that time to travel. You could go home if you want. A lot of teachers stay in Thailand or like visit neighboring countries during that time. So that's a great time to, spend a longer vacation somewhere.
Yeah, great. We do have another question. Oh, a couple questions in the question box. So one of the questions is on the application for roommates. It asks if you want to room with someone from the program. Does that just mean in the same house, but will you have your own room? If you say no to a roommate, do you live somewhere by yourself?
Yeah, so for Thailand, so we ask you if you're traveling with someone, like a friend or a partner. And if you are traveling with someone that you know, then you would put their name in that section. And then below that, we ask you if you would like to be placed with another CIEE participant. And that just really means that you'll get placed at the same school as another CIEE teacher. And potentially the same housing. So you could either live in like your own studio apartment in the same apartment complex as other teachers or that one other teacher at your school, or they might place you in a shared house where you have your own room, but you share a common space. So it could be either or. You can't really choose one or the other. It's kind of just what's available in your region or in your city at the time and what the director of your school can find because they are finding your housing and paying your rent for you. So keep that in mind. But I mean, if you have a very like particular preference about housing, you can write that in your application and we will, take that into account.
Yeah. I think the same question would be good to hear about from South Korea too.
Yeah.
Yeah, following up. So South Korea is a bit different where you absolutely can, similar to what Ashley says, you can list if you're wanting to apply with a partner or a friend on your application. And we've been able to place friends or partners together in the past, as early as even this past season. But it's important to know that housing is single. So it's so each school will provide like just kind of a single studio or small 1-bedroom. If you're looking to kind of room with a friend, then you would want to reject the housing that they give you, and you'd want to take the housing subsidy to find your own apartment. And our suggestion, or my suggestion, is to always take the provided housing because it's just an easier transition, at least for the first year, to take that. And then maybe if you wanted to renew, find your own.
Yeah, great. I think we have another one here. Let's say halfway along the year, things with the school administration doesn't go well and there's lots of bumps. Can we reach out to a CIE advisor for help? like if we are getting mistreated, knocks on wood. Good question.
Yeah, so for the Thailand program, when you're in country, you are going to have in-country support from our Thai partners. They're called Overseas Ed Group, otherwise known as OEG is what we call them. And they are going to be there to help you with any like in-country support that you need. So if you have any issues with your school, or if you feel that you're being mistreated and you would like to talk to someone in person or on the phone or over Zoom, OEG is going to be there to talk to you about those instances, and they'll help you come up with a solution. So keep that in mind. Like, you're going to have their contact info. In Thailand, you're going to use a messaging app called Line. And on that app, you're going to communicate with them through there. So you can text them, you can call them, schedule an appointment. They also have an office in Bangkok. So if you really want to go see them in person, you could go to their office. But yes, you'll definitely have a point person. Also, you'll have a coordinator at your school that will be there to help you with any issues that you have.
Yeah, for Korea, it's similar. So you'll have an in-country support coordinator from the CIEE Seoul team. They will be your emergency contact. They are there to, if you kind of needed to walk through anything that's kind of going on, and they're going to best be able to point you into, the solution, how to kind of give you a solution to what you're dealing with, and who kind of the best next steps, whether that's a person to talk to or maybe the next steps to do. So you'll have, of course, that. If you're doing public schools, you'll have the support of your Office of Education. There's typically a point person as a coordinator there as well. Your handler or maybe school coordinator. That works similar for private schools, having a school coordinator, or maybe your director will be there, a point person, as well as our in-country teams there. So there's multiple layers of support you'll find when you are applying for Korea too.
Nice. Okay. We are coming to kind of the end of our live here today. There were some good questions still in the question box, but I think if you guys have any personal questions, like about insurance, I saw a question about that, or about guidance and lesson planning, about the TEFL course, please feel free to email us. We keep our emails pretty simple. If you want to reach us for the Teach Abroad programs, it's just teach@ciee.org. For TEFL programs, it's TEFL@ciee.org. And of course, you can always find our contact information in our link in bio on our profile. So thank you guys so much for joining. Do you guys have any last words before we log off for today?
Yeah, if you want to teach in Thailand for this fall, for 2024, you should submit your application this weekend before April 1st. And just to secure your spot, make sure you get that done.
Oh.
Looks like she cut out.
Oh.
Yeah, well, same Korea, fall 24. Oh, there we go.
You're back.
Oh. Go ahead, Melissa.
No, you're good. Same for Korea. If you are interested in teaching in South Korea, we are accepting applications for fall 24, which is April 1st, and then spring 25, July 1st as well.
Yes. So the time is now for teaching abroad.
I know.
All right. Thank you for everyone who joined today and for all the questions. We hope to see you guys here again soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.